Have you ever heard a story so strange, so unbelievable, that it makes you question the very fabric of reality? Today, we're diving into one of the most baffling military encounters ever recorded, a tale that blurs the line between the known world and the Twilight Zone. It's a story of a town that shouldn't exist, a place lost in time, and the soldiers who stumbled into it. This isn't just a campfire tale. It's an official report that has left even the most hardened skeptics scratching their heads. So, buckle up, because we're heading deep into the Syrian desert to uncover the mystery of the town that vanished. Our story begins in the vast, sun-scorched expanse of Syria. A U.S. patrol team is on a routine mission, navigating the familiar, dusty terrain. The soldiers are experienced, well-equipped, and trained for anything the desert might throw at them, or so they thought. On this particular day, something went wrong. A minor navigation error, a wrong turn. It's hard to say exactly what happened, but suddenly, they found themselves completely lost. Their GPS was unreliable, and the landscape, which should have been empty desert, now held something impossible. Ahead of Tim, shimmering in the heat haze, was a small town. This was the first red flag. No town was marked on any of their maps, not on their paper charts, and certainly not on any satellite imagery. Satellites can map a license plate from space, but they had somehow missed an entire settlement. It was baffling. Still, seeing a town in the middle of nowhere was better than being lost. Wheat Kosyon, the patrol leader, made the decision to approach, hoping to get their bearings, find some water, and perhaps figure out where they'd gone wrong. As they drew closer, the strangeness only intensified. The architecture was ancient, like something out of a history book, built from sun-dried bricks and old stone. There were no power lines, no satellite dishes, no signs of modern life whatsoever. As the soldiers entered the town's narrow, winding streets, they were greeted by the residents. But these people were unlike anyone they'd encountered in the region. They were dressed in archaic, hand-woven garments that looked like they belonged to a bygone era. Their faces were weathered by the sun, and they stared at the soldiers' modern combat gear with a mixture of curiosity and apprehension. The patrol leader, trying to break the ice, attempted to communicate. He spoke in Arabic, the standard language for interacting with locals, but the townspeople just looked at him with blank confusion. They responded in a dialect so old, so guttural and ancient, that it was completely unrecognizable. It wasn't modern Arabic or any known local variant. It was as if they were speaking a language lost to time. Despite the communication barrier, the townspeople seemed peaceful, even hospitable. The soldiers, desperate to re-establish contact with their base, gestured to their own silent radios, trying to explain their predicament. An elderly man, who appeared to be the village chief, seemed to understand. He nodded slowly and disappeared into one of the mud brick houses. A moment later, he returned, carrying a device. It looked vaguely like an old radio, crafted from wood, brass, and intricate wiring. But there was a critical detail that made the soldiers' blood run cold. It had no power source, no batteries, no plug, no antenna. It was an inert, beautifully crafted object. The old man handed it to the patrol leader with a solemn expression, as if offering a sacred relic. The soldiers examined the strange device, utterly perplexed. It was impossible for it to work. Yet, the old man insisted, pointing at it and then to the sky. With no other options, the patrol leader held the device and tried to operate it. As his fingers traced the strange dials, a low hum suddenly emanated from it. And then, a voice crackled through a clear, static-free transmission from their command base. The operator on the other end sounded surprised, asking how they were suddenly coming through loud and clear. The patrol leader, still in shock, quickly relayed their situation. Their coordinates saw where they thought they were, and the bizarre circumstances. The response from base was a mix of confusion and urgency. They confirmed the patrol was miles off course in an area designated as empty desert. And then, exactly 4 minutes into their conversation, the world exploded. The deafening roar of artillery shells tore through the air. Explosions rocked the ground, sending plumes of dust and sand skyward. The shells weren't landing in the town, but just outside its perimeter, creating a terrifying ring of fire and chaos. It was a clear and urgent signal from their command. Get out. Now. The patrol didn't need to be told twice. Their training kicked in. They scrambled back to their vehicles, their minds reeling from the whirlwind of strange events, the ancient town, the forgotten language, the impossible radio, and now a sudden, unexplained artillery barrage. They floored it, driving as fast as they could, retracing their path back towards their original position. After driving for what felt like an eternity, they reached a ridge overlooking the valley where the town had been. The patrol leader stopped the vehicle and grabbed his binoculars, needing to see it one last time, to make sense of what had just happened. He raised the binoculars to his eyes, focusing on the spot where the ancient buildings had stood just moments before. But there was nothing there. The town was gone. It hadn't been destroyed by the artillery. It had simply vanished. Where there were houses, streets, and people, there was now only flat, empty desert stretching to the horizon. It was as if the entire place had been a mirage, a collective hallucination. But the memory of the people, the feel of the impossible radio in his hands, it was all too real. Immediately, they radioed back to base, their voices trembling with a mix of fear and disbelief. The town, ... It's gone. It just disappeared. Command was skeptical, but the patrol was adamant. An unmanned drone was immediately dispatched to the coordinates. The high-definition camera swept over the area, beaming back a live feed to a command center full of bewildered officers. The footage confirmed the soldiers' report. There was no town, no ruble, no craters from the artillery. There was no sign that anything had ever been there. Just miles and miles of undisturbed Syrian desert. The official report was a paradox. A team of highly trained soldiers had interacted with a town that, according to every technological sensor they had, did not exist. The story could have ended there, dismissed as a case of heat exhaustion, combat stress, or a shared delusion. The patrol team was debriefed, their psychological evaluations showing them to be perfectly sane. They stuck to their story, every soldier corroborating every bizarre detail. For a week, the incident was a frustrating, classified puzzle with no solution. And then, an archivist at military intelligence, while cross-referencing historical data of the region, stumbled upon something extraordinary. It was a faded, black-and-white photograph taken by a French surveyor in the 1920s. The photo depicted a small, remote settlement in the Syrian desert. The architecture, the layout of the streets, the mud brick houses, it was an exact match for the town the soldiers had described. And the location noted on the back of the photograph, it was the precise set of coordinates where the U.S. patrol had gotten lost. This discovery sent shockwaves through the intelligence community. The town was real. It had existed nearly a century ago. But what did the soldiers see? Did they somehow slip through a crack in time, stepping into the Syria of the 1920s for a few brief, terrifying moments? Was the town a ghost, an echo of the past replaying itself in the present? Or is there another explanation, something even more profound and unsettling, that we are not yet equipped to understand? The artillery strike adds another layer of mystery. Did command see something on their sensors, a temporal anomaly, an energy signature that prompted them to scare their soldiers away before they became permanently trapped? The official file on this incident remains classified, but the story has been leaked by insiders who believe the world deserves to know that we are surrounded by mysteries. We have only begun to scratch the surface of what do you think happened out there in the desert? Was it a time slip, a localized mirage with physical properties, or something else entirely? Let me know your theories in the comments below. This story is a powerful reminder that the world is far stranger and more mysterious than we can imagine. Thanks for joining me on this journey into the unknown. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.